Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream Saturday. I hope you guys have had a good start to your weekend and that your week went well as well. So, Gremlin report for tonight's live stream. Thankfully, we had an outage of the USB things that happened last time, but this time it happened at 10:15. This is why I say thankfully. It gave me 45 minutes to sort it out, which hopefully I have been able to do, so we will see throughout this live stream. But hello guys, thank you for joining me in that live chat room. Let's have a look in there and see who's in the house tonight. And we have Laurie, Vera, Anna, Teresa, Karen's in there as well, Corey, Jennifer, Billy, Bella, Chris, 123 Rockchild, Joe, Laura, Debbie, Barbara, Bob, Gail, Dawn, and you're going to quickly now for me to be able to keep up. So hello everybody, thank you for joining me. And things are still quite warm here in the UK. Quick weather report. I don't know how warm, but it feels like maybe in and around kind of 24, 25 degrees, something like that. So yeah, I know that this room it does hold in the heat as well, just because it keeps the sound in as well, which is an important thing. So yes, I have already seen that there have been donations in the super chat window, so thank you for those. And it is referencing something that I will bring up at the beginning of the live stream. First of all, we hit 376,000 subscribers, which was amazing. And thank you everyone for subscribing, hitting that thumbs up, all of that cool stuff. And the reason I'm saying 376,000 is just to make sure that I give that number a shout out, because we do that whenever we go up by 1,000 subscribers. But then also, if I now type it in, we hit 377,000 subscribers. So thank you again everybody for subscribing and doing all of that cool stuff, interacting with the channel, hitting the thumbs up, leaving a comment, all of that. So the reason I mention this is because I can see in that first donation that Paul has referenced that number, 377,000. So we will get to the donations in a second, but yeah, an amazing number. We'll keep on pushing forward and see where we end up. So now let me get the names of my patrons up on screen, because they make this all possible in the first place. The live streams, the analysis of videos, the cover videos that I've done in the past, and yeah, interview videos, just basically everything that I do. So a massive thank you to you guys. You know who you are. And let's get the likes goal up on screen as well, because this is another record attempt for tonight, the 18th of May 2024. We're aiming for another record of likes. So 485 is where we are setting that target, which is a crazy target. But if you can leave a thumbs up as you come through the door, that would be much appreciated. And one thing that I haven't done is I changed the number that we were aiming for, but I didn't change the fill jam, because I believe it's 139 now. So if we hit the goal of 485, then we're going to be having a fill jam at the end of this live stream, and it's going to be number 139, as I have just typed in. So yeah, if you can leave a thumbs up as you come through the door, that would be much appreciated. The other thing that happened just before we went live, all the numbers on the screen started being a little bit weird, because there were a lot of comments coming through, and I can see you guys in the live chat room, and it said that there were 40 people watching. And I thought, well, that's probably a lie, because the live chat room was going much too quickly for 40 people to be consistently, or at least commenting that consistently and quickly. So yeah, I refreshed the screen. Everything's gone back to normal now, which is good. I do believe that we're in ultra latency mode, or low latency mode. I don't know what it's called, but it's where I can do something and you guys see it very quickly. So actually what I'm going to do now is do maybe a clap like that, and I'm going to look at the screen to see how long it takes me to do it, because I can, and there it is. So that was what, just a few seconds, because I can see a feed of the live stream on screen, but it's always a little bit off-putting because I'm never doing what I'm doing. I'm always, it used to be about 20 seconds behind myself, but now it's only what, about 5 seconds. Still off-putting though, but at least I can see if everything's still live. So Anyway, yeah, maybe you guys, obviously I have to wait for it to go to YouTube and then come back to me for me to see it. So you might see it even quicker than 5 seconds or whatever that was. Anyway, let's get into the last thing to mention about these live streams and just my channel in general is that you don't have to donate. Just watching is fantastic, and hitting the thumbs up is a little bit better. Maybe leaving a comment, and especially with the live streams, introduce yourself in that live chat room, because that's how we all get to know each other. But if you can't resist donating, I think it's important that you know between 45 and 60% goes to YouTube through the super chat window, and between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal through the PayPal link that you can find in the description below. But yeah, just watching is great. There have been some donations, so I will just address those quickly. Paul has donated $5. Thank you for that, Paul. And the message is, wow, we now have 377,000 subscribers. Awesome. Let's have fun tonight and spike those likes all y'all. Rock. So thank you for that, Paul. Great idea. Hit that thumbs up. Likeometer, good shout. Karen, in the live chat room, we are at 273. So, yeah, a good start, I would say, to getting towards the huge target that is 485. But it means we're looking for 210. That's quite easy for me to work out. So there's the maths done for tonight's live stream. So, yeah, thank you for that, Karen, and thank you for this donation, Paul. And Orlando donated $2 as well and says spike the likes with lots of thumbs up. Thank you for that, Orlando. And Jan has donated 50 Norwegian kroner, so thank you for that, Jan. And the message is, for a painter it starts with a blank canvas, for a musician it starts with silence. Quote, myself. So thank you for that, Jan. And yeah, the last video that we had was, I don't know, maybe a bit of a controversial video looking at AI and the way that you can just type in some words and it'll come up with a song based on what you type into it. And I believe the software that I was looking at, or at least referencing from another channel, is not released yet, but it's going to be coming out very soon. So it's kind of at the cutting edge. And I know that people might have heard some AI software before that makes songs, and it's a little bit obvious that it's AI making the songs, but this one I thought was quite authentic if you didn't know that it was just AI doing it. But yeah, talking about a blank canvas, I mean, it will literally be a case that nowadays you start with a blank canvas and then you just type in what you want and then the song's made for you. So yeah, it was an interesting video, obviously interesting to keep up with modern technology and see what is possible and where it's at. But I always think that it's going to always come back to live performance and actually being able to interact with the band. But then again, I suppose if you aren't going to tour and if you're not going to go and see people so that they interact with you, then, I mean, if you're not going to live stream as well, that's another thing. But if you're not going to do all of that, then yeah, you could just handle it all with AI, even have the band as being AI people and doing AI pictures and all that kind of stuff. But yes, anyway, thank you for that, Jan. Now, there have been some donations in the PayPal window, so I will just quickly jump over into that window, and I want to make sure that I don't miss any out from last time. So last time it was actually a few CD orders that I go through. Oh yeah, we had Dana, so I remember that one. So the next one came through from Ed for £20, and this was at 4:44 on Wednesday morning. So thank you for that, Ed. And the message was, thank you, Phil, Ed. So thank you for that. And Ed's given his surname there as well, but I always do first names just in case I read out a message and somebody says, I want to be anonymous. And yeah, that's why I never read the second or the surname or the second name, just in case. But thank you for that. Sabine has donated £20 and 60 pence. So thank you for that, Sabine. And that is a straight up donation. And Chris donated £10 as well. So thank you for that, Chris. And that was Thursday morning, 3:08. And the message was, Phil, wonderful analysis of Vicky Carr, one of my favourite singers. So thank you for that. Thank you for the kind words. And yeah, I mean, Vicky's voice, I couldn't believe that I hadn't heard it, first of all. But then it's interesting how when listening to her voice, and I mentioned about Shirley Bassey, but then Shirley also did her own version of that song just a little bit later in the year than when Vicky released her, what would be the original version of it. So thinking of Shirley's effective cover of that particular song, Shirley's voice is so similar in so many ways that I think, well, how much of Vicky's performance did Shirley put into it? Because, there's so many little mannerisms and things that she does vocally that Vicky does. So, it's really interesting to hear those two versions together, one after the next. Not that I don't think I did that in the video, but it's certainly something, if you are going to check out that original video, you can check out Shirley's video as well. And it's just reminded me of a comment that I've had, because the song It Must Be Him, if you listen to that song, somebody commented and said, this is exactly what I say when I'm waiting for an Amazon delivery. So, and then if you listen to the song, I thought it was quite a funny comment to leave, because I can understand that as well when you've ordered something and it says that it should have been delivered, but then it's not being delivered, and then it says it's going to be delayed, and then it should be with you by like 10 p.m. or something crazy, and then it doesn't happen, and then it says a very good situation for that particular song. But Vicky's voice, what an amazing voice and performance that we were looking at there. So thank you for that, Chris. And next we had, this is a CD order from Victoria, so thank you for that. Nicole has donated £8 as well, so thank you for that, Nicole. And the message is, hello Phil, your analysis last night to ask a question for our future. The AI is like an octopus which penetrates everything in our life. Will humans soon be obsolete? Let's pray not. Kiss and rock always. Good weekend, Phil. So thank you for that, Nicole. And I mean, talking about AI, I think it's something that, you could talk about literally for the rest of your life, because it's always learning, it's always doing stuff, it's always taking in information and it's coming up with conclusions, and it's taking variables and it's putting all of those together and just coming up with what it comes up with. And it doesn't have to be music. I mean, it's happening in the world of medicine and coming up with different materials, because you can throw everything into it. And the experiments that would take humans years to conduct, because you'd literally go into a lab and you'd grab something, you'd put it in there, and then you'd add the other thing to it and leave it for a bit and see what's going to happen. You can program that all in and tell the AI what the elements are and what make up those elements. And it can do its own experiments, hypothesize as to what's going to happen. And it can do, I don't know how many, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of calculations, in a minute, or probably every second. But it's doing this all the time. So it's constantly learning. So the applications for it, you think, wow, what an amazing tool to be able to help humans. But you know what humans are like? It's going to, be probably under the control, and it probably already is under the control of agencies, national agencies for protection of countries, and developing new weapons and all that kind of stuff. Whatever new technology there is in the world is always first of all used for weapons. That's just how humans work, unfortunately. But you think, if there weren't any weapons, imagine what we could achieve with AI if it wasn't being used for things that are going to just harm the human race. But and data collection, all that kind of stuff, and hacking. If you think about an AI being able to hack it, say for example, you've got a password and they say there's 23 million possible combinations for this password. The AI could probably do that in a minute. It'll go through every single variation and eventually you'll get it right. So that's the problem. So, it'll be getting close to Terminator, the movies, where the machines can hack everything. So they might decide, if they get a consciousness, they might decide that the planet would be better without humans. Certainly for the environment. I think AI would have a good case there. If all human life ceased tomorrow, the world would become a better place for the environment. It would go back to, thriving, and nature would as well. All these humans that are ruining everything. But anyway, let's not get into that. Like I said, we could talk about that for years. But thank you for that, Nicole. Yeah, a very deep subject, but certainly not something we can get into in depth in a live stream. But let me just check. We've had another donation. This has come through from Carla for £25. So thank you for that. And that is a straight up donation. And Tammy has donated £25. So thank you for that, Tammy. And the message is, "Hi Phil, congratulations on hitting 377,000 subscribers. Do singers have natural vibrato, or do they have to work to develop and control them? Rock." So thank you for that. And I think in the last live stream, I'm pretty sure it was on Tuesday night, where we were talking about not vibrato, we were talking about breath support and taking a diaphragmatic breath. And I think it all led on from emails that I got from somebody who was being a bit of a troll. But yeah, I explained all about that. I didn't really explain about vibrato. And when I start explaining things, the live streams tend to go on for ages, or should I say the answer to the question goes on for ages. So I keep this relatively short. Some people who sing, and some people have got what I would consider a natural voice, or they've been singing from a young age. I think obviously there's the whole argument of, whether it's nature versus nurture, are you born with a great voice, or do you have to learn to do it? And the fact that I've learned to do it, I would say, well, I think it is just a learning process that you can go through it. Obviously, the earlier you start learning, the better, because then you'll start to use your vocal cords how they were designed to be used, rather than get into bad habits at a later date. So yeah, I'd say that if you start singing as a kid, then you'll have pretty good vocal technique. And some people who just have a good voice naturally, they can also have a natural vibrato. So there are two sides to that coin, because you think, well, it's great to have a natural vibrato, but on the flip side of that, they can't control the vibrato. And that's something that I've had in the past with singers in bands that I've been in for maybe a ballad, where they've been singing in, the chorus and or in the verse, where there's not a lot of accompaniment, and the dynamic is kind of low. It's really understated, and you want that vocal to have a slower vibrato, because the faster it is, the more excitable it sounds. And I have demonstrated that in different analysis videos. But when you hit a note and you go, ah, and you hit a slower vibrato, it is easier to listen to. And it goes with a slower tempo well, because you're getting those hit points, quite far apart, if you're imagining the peaks of that frequency of vibrato. But if you're going, and you're doing something really quickly, when it's something that's like a ballad and a slow tempo, it sounds a little bit too excitable. So that's the problem, that some people just have a natural vibrato that it might be slow or it might be fast. So it might suit particular songs and it might not suit other songs. And there's an advert here in the UK that's for Virgin Airlines, I think, and there's a female vocalist singing, and she's got a great voice, but it's like a ballad, and like a big band ballad, but her vibrato is really fast, to the point of it almost sounding a bit like a sheep. So when you want somebody to hit that last note and go, ah, and actually have a vibrato that's really under control, it was kind of more like, ah, and it's kind of, it's too excitable. It's too kind of out of control. So this is, the thing. So first of all, you've got, singers who can't control it, and just the speed is what it is. So it means that maybe as you get older, it might change. But singers, like when I've spoken about singers who later on in their careers have maybe a slower and a wider vibrato, so they get that that really extreme kind of wobble going on that you get in musical theatre, I've said in the class, but especially classical singers. They have this very wide vibrato. And sometimes singers who have a natural vibrato, that's just what happens. They're not doing that as they get older, intentionally, artistically. It's just something that they've never been able to control vibrato in the first place because it's been natural. So whatever it wants to do, it will do. So yeah, there's one side, like I said, that, you know, you think, well, it would be great to have natural vibrato, but I would probably have, you know, what I have, which is learning to do it. So that if I wanted to do a faster vibrato, I can. And if I want to do a slower vibrato, then I can. If I want to do a wider vibrato, then I can. So it at least gives you all of the options so that if you are singing a ballad, you can slow it down and maybe make it a little bit either more subtle or a little bit wider. And then if you're singing a more up-tempo song, you can speed up your vibrato a little bit more. So I prefer to be in that camp of being able to control it, and I think that just stems from me being a guitar player first. It's because I know that I learnt to do vibrato and the technique on my guitar, so I learnt how to do it. So then I learned how to do it vocally. So I think it was just from that, you know, standpoint. And yeah, I think maybe somebody's got a natural vibrato now, trying to unlearn that and trying to learn to control it. Yeah, it might be really difficult, but you know, I'm sure it is possible, but some people just, you know, stick with their natural vibrato, and yeah, everybody's different, and it's up to whatever you want to have in your voice, because having a natural vibrato, you could say as well, that will be unique because it's just yours. But I like to be able to kind of change it, and especially for demonstrating things. If I could only do a fast vibrato and somebody does a slow vibrato, then yeah, I wouldn't be able to demonstrate that. So yeah, I like to be able to have all of the possibilities at my disposal. But anyway, thank you for that, Tammy. And Debbie has donated £10 as well. Thank you for that, Debbie. And the message is, hi Phil, congrats on 377,000 subscribers. I loved the Vicky Cart analysis video. Great job breaking down her vocals on It Must Be Him. She has such power behind her voice. Thanks, you're amazing. Love you, Debbie. So thank you for that. And yes, indeed, as we've already said, that Vicky's voice was just ridiculously powerful in that performance, just because it's more like that musical theatre and that kind of classical body that you get in the sound. So anyway, thank you for that. Lisa has donated £11 and 7 pence. So thank you for that, Lisa. And that is a straight up donation. And Karen has donated £5 and 29 pence. Thank you for that, Karen. And this is a long message. So just before we get into that, we're looking for 115 more people to hit that thumbs up. So if you could do that, that would be massively appreciated. It would get us to a new record on a Saturday night live stream. And if we do hit that target, we will be having the Phil Jam at the end of tonight's live stream. So yeah, we'll bust out the guitar and see what happens with what Joe has sent me. So yeah, 485 is what we're looking for. And we'll keep an eye on it, although maybe you can get a spike of the likes, maybe now. And it just did go up a few. So thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up. So Karen's long message is this. Hi Phil, congrats on hitting 377,000 subscribers. You never cease to amaze me. I saw a couple of articles on goodnewsnetwork.org and thought of you. I sent you the links. One was a funny story about a woman in England finding a monkey casually sitting on her kitchen counter. How would you handle that? The other was about Britain's telecom boxes being EV charging stations. Up to 60,000 cabinets may be adapted. Would you welcome that? Anyway, many thanks for what you do and for being you. Cheers, Karen. So thank you for that, Karen. Right, there were 2 questions in there. How would I deal with a monkey casually sitting on my kitchen counter? It would never happen because I don't know how a monkey would get in if all the doors are locked. So, but if it did somehow get in, then I'd say something miraculous has happened here because we've got a monkey that can teleport effectively. So, yeah, I don't know how I would deal with that. The second thing, telecom boxes becoming EV charging stations. Yeah, nothing that I've seen in the news about that, but any new EV charging stations would be good because yeah, we need the infrastructure. Even though everyone, with government says, get an electric car, but then just thinking about if everyone had an electric car, there's no way everybody would be able to charge their cars at night because it is non-existent in order for that to be able to happen. And I know because of my electric car, even when I set it to charge at maybe 3 in the morning, and it always has a delay because it says applying a random delay so as to not overload not the network, but the electricity place. I think the word is similar to network, but my brain is not giving it to me at the moment. It's because I've said network that always throws it off, because then you want the real word and your brain just keeps on saying network, even though it's not quite the right word. But anyway, so yeah, it always says that it's putting a random delay in there. So I think, well, there aren't that many electric cars around at the moment. So if there are so many people wanting to charge their cars already that they have to put in a delay, then yeah, it's not a very good sign. Like if everybody got an electric car tomorrow, the whole of the country would come to a standstill. So yeah, they definitely need to sort it out. But just being able to charge your car, like I'm lucky that I don't really go anywhere and nowhere of distance. So yeah, for people that do have a long commute to work, they might need to charge it when they get to work and then on the way back, and certainly that doesn't exist. I'm just imagining you get to work and somebody else is using the charger. What happens then? Because then you can't get home. So yeah, that's the problem. But thank you for that, Karen. Right, there has been another donation in the live in the super chat window, and it is Orlando who's donated $5 again. So thank you for that, Orlando. And the message is: this question is inspired by your t-shirt. How does Angus Young get such a distinct guitar sound without the use of pedals? So thank you for that. And this t-shirt in normal light, it almost just looks like a black t-shirt, because the AC/DC, well, the A is kind of rubbed off, unfortunately, but the AC/DC, not just CDC, but you can't really see it. But under these lights, because obviously it's gonna, maybe this is why my hair looks like lots of different colours, but it's because of the lighting. It just brings out different colours. I don't know how. So anyway, back to the question. So Angus Young getting a distinct sound, and I mean, I think every guitar player will tell you this, that the great guitarists have their own sound anyway. I mean, it's in their hands, so they can go through any amp, any distortion pedal, even though I know that we're talking about getting, a distinct sound just going straight into the amp, and more often than not, just cranking up the amp. And obviously having a distortion channel of sorts on the amplifier is something that, you'll need to have in order to get that more distorted sound. But having just clean and distortion in the amplifier, I mean, generally with amps, you're just increasing the gain. You're just kind of overdriving that amp as much as you can, especially playing live. You want to AC/DC. I'm going to be playing quietly, so you really want to ramp it up as high as you can, turn it up to 11. But yeah, then getting the sound. And sometimes I actually think that using the amp and not using pedals, you can just get a more distinct sound or a more piercing lead sound sometimes. I remember that when I first started out, when I was playing live in my late teens and my early 20s, I had loads of pedals. I didn't stick with pedals for any length of time. I then went to more multi-effects processors. So it means that I had 4 banks, and it might be like a Boss GT, insert whatever number you want, but the Boss GT pedals that I had, so you had the wah-wah pedal on there as well. You could use that for volume. But whenever I used it, I went through just a clean channel on my Marshall, and yeah, I just wasn't getting what I considered a nice tone, or a balanced tone, or a thick tone. But then when I was just teaching at a guitar shop, and I tried the HD 75 to begin with, line 6, technically Spider 2 HD 75. I tried that, which had the effects in the head of the amp, and I thought, wow, even though it was a transistor amp, I thought, wow, this tone is so much better than my Marshall amp. So anyway, I took the amp, I then went into, and this is something that I suggest everybody does if you play live, take the amp that you're thinking about getting into a rehearsal room and just crank it up. And I actually used the HD 75 live, but it just wasn't loud enough. So I then got the HD 150. So it's like double the volume, and it's definitely loud enough. So this is the HD 150 behind me, but the effects are part of the amp. So it's not like you're sacrificing anything. Anyway, back to Angus Young. Yeah, the sound of great guitarists, it's just in their hands. It's the way they play, and it is distinctive. But I also think that keeping your live setup simple is something that I buy into. That's something that I prefer to do myself. And I know that there are some guitarists who have loads of, pedals, and, they might even have like an effects rig that they have. But yeah, I think everyone's different. I just like to keep it very simple. So yeah, for me, I just have I have a clean sound and I have a distorted sound. And then yeah, I just have that. If I go for a more distorted sound, the distorted sound for my lead guitar is the same for rhythm, but just with a little bit more distortion on maybe, and some delay added to it. So fundamentally, it's the same tone that I'm using for rhythm. And then I might have, if I want a cleaner rhythm, then I just clean it up a bit. Sometimes on the guitar. So I just like to keep it quite simple. So if you want a cleaner sound, like I do with the fill jams, it's the same distorted sound that I'm using for all of the fill jams, but I'm just cleaning it up with the volume on my guitar. So I like to kind of keep it more simple like that. Like I said, everyone's different, and some people just like to have lots and lots of options with their feet, but with a foot, because generally you're only going to be doing it with one foot. I've never seen anybody, changing effects with both feet. It gets a little bit complicated, unless they are a one-man band and they're doing like maybe a hi-hat or something at the same time as playing. So anyway, thank you for that, Orlando. And Sue has donated $9.99. I saw the Hermes Ninja, but then Sue in brackets. So yeah, Sue, a lot easier to pronounce. Sue says, good evening, Phil and chat. So thank you for that. Good evening to you, Sue. And yeah, everyone say good evening to Sue in that live chat room. So yeah, let's keep an eye on that lycometer. We're at 422 at the moment, which means we're looking for more. Is that 63? It might be 63. I'm not sure, but I'm going to go with that number. So we're looking for 63 more people to hit that thumbs up before the end of the live stream. Now, we do have a vote for tonight's cover video. And, I mean, we haven't heard Free Falling in quite a while. We did hear it a few times, maybe at the end of last year or something. But, yeah, it's been requested over on Patreon again for tonight. So that, I can see, is in the lead. It has 55% of the vote. And Lay It on the Line was the other song that was requested over on Patreon. So yeah, I'm just doing that from memory because I can only ever see the one that is in the lead. So yeah, we're going to have a bit of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, or a bit of Triumph. I think it might be a bit of Tom Petty because obviously it's my version of that particular song. But Free Falling has a 5% lead. If you want to hear Lay It on the Line, make sure that you click on that at the top of the live chat room. So we do have a picture corner tonight as well. So a couple of pictures to look at there. And where are we at? We're 20 to midnight here in the UK, so we've still got a bit of time on our side. I think we're doing quite well with the lycometer, considering that we're going for a new record, 485. So yeah, we'll keep hopefully nudging those thumbs up along as we progress. So Now, maybe we've got time to get into... we haven't got any troll corner tonight, I don't think. I was trying to remember off the top of my head any troll comments, but I can't remember any troll comments. So yeah, we're not going to have a troll corner tonight, which means we might have a little bit more space for either a fill tune or a riff of the week. The only problem with the riffs of the week is that we've got, I don't know, maybe 20 left out of 100. So to get those guesses accurate, maybe we'll need about half an hour for you guys to guess a particular riff of the week that we haven't done yet. But actually, let me, before we get into the whole discussion of riff of the week or fill tune, the backing track for tonight's fill jam, if we hit the target, is 8 minutes and 58. So that's almost 9 minutes. Even I can do that maths. So we're going to need to leave a little bit more space at the end of the live stream to have enough time for the fill jam if we get 45 more people to hit that thumbs up. So yeah, we'll bust out the guitar, try and leave enough space. So let's put something in here. Right, let's say either riff of the week, which means I have to set it up, so I haven't done that, but riff of the week or a fill tune. Let me know, guys, in the live chat room as to what you want to see or hear at this point in the live stream. We're just going to, this is something that I always do and then realise I haven't set anything up. But yeah, we always just fly by, what we say here in the UK, fly by the seat of our pants. But that's something that in the USA, pants means like trousers. So it probably means something different. But it means, you know, just, yeah. I also say busking it, which means that you're just going with it and then seeing what happens. So that's what we're doing with this request in the live chat room. I can see that riff, fill tune, riff, fill tune, both, fill tune, riff. So we're going to do a riff. So let me know if you can think of a number, which I'm sure you can, between 1 and 100. And I'll let you know if that particular riff has been done before and we've looked at it. So yeah, Laura has given me the email to the ones that we haven't done yet. So thank you for that, Laura. It makes my job a lot easier. So I can look at the numbers, and I don't know whether I should give hints as to whereabouts to guess, because there have been quite a few just in one certain section. I won't give it away, but I'll look out. Oh, I was going to say, I saw number 86 there somewhere. It was Colleen who said 86. That was close, but we've had number 86. So let's have a look over. Liz says 4. No, we've already had 4 before. And Laura says 74. We've had number 74. And Muriel says 96. We haven't had 96. So riff of the week, 96. We'll click on that. We'll click on this. And I'm just noticing that I haven't done the screen capture. Oh, and I'm going to have to... Okay, this is going to be a disaster, because I'm going to have to move it from where I set up picture corner. So that's going to be messed up later, but here we go. So this is going to be... Oh, let me get it on screen so you guys can see it. This is going to be riff of the week number... Let me see if this is actually going to show up. Oh, it's all wonky. But this this is riff of the week number 96. I'm trying to find where this is so that I can at least put it on the screen so you can see it. That's a little bit better. Okay, let's have a listen to this. And yeah, first one to get it wins the title of being the first one to get it. Let's have a listen. And it's intermediate. We have it. That was an intermediate riff, meaning that was an That was an intermediate riff, meaning that's quite good. Yeah, the swapping of the letters. But anyway, meaning that I don't think a lot of people will get it. Because it might not be that well known a song. And the reason that I did this, I think because I was teaching this loads at one point, because all the kids wanted to learn how to play this. So anyway, what I want is the name of the song that this comes from, and I don't know whether anybody's going to get it. I'm going to look into the live chat room. Let me get rid of that and get rid of that. So let me move up a little bit, because I don't think, some people say eruption, but no, that wasn't eruption. Same technique as eruption, and it wasn't hot for teacher either. And oh, look at this, Barbara right at the top said Muse Reapers. So that is correct. The song is called Reapers by Muse. And I'm going to scroll down because I think that was the first one to get it, and it's the only one that I've seen so far. So well done, Barbara, for guessing, not really guessing it correctly, but hearing it and knowing what it is. I'm going to scroll down, but I think a lot of people have gone along the eruption route because, it's very similar to the kind of end part of eruption. But let me just scroll down. And Gail says, I love Muse, and I didn't get that. So, I don't know how well a song it is known, or how well it's known as a song. So, you can check it out if you like music. Have a listen to it, and then you'll at least now know what the riff goes like at the beginning. So, anyway, yes, well done to Barbara for guessing that. It was a difficult one for tonight. Right now, what I'm going to do is bring the vote to a close. It looked like Free Falling was in the lead, and it maintained its lead of 55%. So we are going to have a listen to my version of Free Falling. And thank you guys over on Patreon for requesting not only the song that we started with, which is Haunted. That's my song, as we always start the live streams with. If you want to check out my music, you can head over to wingsofpegasus.com/music to go straight there. But this is my version of the Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers classic, Free Falling. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you after. Rock!
She's a good girl, loves her mama, loves Jesus and America too. She's a good girl, she's crazy about Elvis, loves horses and a boyfriend too. And it's a long day living in Reseda, and there's a freeway running through the yard. I'm a bad boy, 'cause I don't even miss her. I'm a bad boy for breaking her heart. And I'm free.
And there we have it. So that was my version of Free Falling. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And looking at that video, I think my hair was probably the same kind of length as it is now. And we haven't had a hair update for tonight's live stream. But as you can see, and I don't know how this happens, but all of a sudden, my hair just becomes too long. And it's literally over the course of 2 days. So a couple of days ago, yeah, I washed my hair and I couldn't see because it's longer. My fringe was longer than my eyes, or it was at least longer than it should be. So tonight we've got, which has worked out quite well, even though I can kind of just about see underneath it. We've got this kind of windswept look. So it means all the hair's going, or at least we're getting rid of the length of the hair through horizontal action. So we kind of got away with it for tonight's live stream. But yeah, as for what's going to happen in the future, who knows? It's already too long. I don't know why it suddenly becomes too long. Whereas, you know, last week or even kind of 5 days ago, it seemed like it was fine. Maybe it's just all about curling in the right direction. So anyway, yes, we are going to be jumping into Picture Corner, and maybe after that we'll keep an eye on, I was going to say keep an eye on the likeometer. We have already hit the goal, which is a new record for a Saturday night live stream. 485 is what we were aiming for, and we're at 491. So thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up. Of course you can keep on doing that. Karen says we need food talk, Phil. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure what that relates to, other than, you know, what I had for dinner, which is just soup. Soup and bread. So yeah, not a lot going on, which means I'm always quite hungry when doing the live stream. But anyway, yeah, getting back to it, we've got 497 likes now. So thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up. And if you're watching this on catch up, you can keep on hitting that thumbs up. Really does help the live stream to get out there and for the channel to grow on the whole. So yeah, 485, new record. Of course, it means next week we're going to be aiming for a new record again, because when we get a new record, we then aim for another new record the next week. We've been doing that on Tuesdays. And by the way, if you can tune in on a Tuesday, we will need you, because we're going for a new record then as well. Last time, I don't know how long it took, but we almost didn't make it. I think we made it right at the end of the last live stream on Tuesday. So yeah, we need every single thumbs up we can get on Tuesday nights as well. And of course, on a Tuesday night, we have a Phil Jam then as well. Same as Saturday nights if we do hit that target, which means we will be having the Phil Jam a little bit later on. And when I say that, because it's almost 10 minutes in length, let's get organised with Picture Corner. So let's jump in there. And I was going to say let's see what's going on, but I now know that I've got to do the screen capture from the riff of the week and reorganise it. So let's see where this appears. And true to form, it's now on the left-hand side. So let me try and find where this is so that I can grab it and move it over here. Right, so first of all, this came through from, and I know this Nikki, but I want to get the message, or at least see if there's a message with this. And there is. So thank you for sending this one in, Nikki. The message is, thought I would share my new desktop wallpaper with you. So yeah, thank you for that. And thank you, Laura, for linking me to this one. And we've actually got another picture, because Vince sent me a picture of himself and his base and his Wings of Pegasus t-shirt. So thank you, Vince, for sending this my way. And I think, let me see the message with this. I think it was something to do with the sound check, or at least about to have a sound check. Oh, it says picture from a gig tonight. Took this just now before sound check. And then going to miss live stream tonight because of the gig. So thank you for that, Vince. And yeah, like I've already said, you guys can watch the live stream on catch up. I do upload the live stream to Patreon, or at least leave a link to it in a post there if you guys want to watch it if you are on Patreon. But yeah, never fear, if you're watching this in the future, it's still on YouTube. It's just that it won't be live. Oh, something quickly to mention, and I know that I mention this a lot, unfortunately, But somebody's emailed about the Telegram thing, and I get these emails quite regularly, even though I try to remove the Telegram comments whenever I see them. If you've been replied to on YouTube and it looks like it might be me, then it's not. If I say anything about Telegram, or if it looks like me asking you to have a chat or meet up or do something, or you've won a prize or all that kind of stuff, I don't do any of those things. That's all a scam. So whenever I see these things, I try and remove them as quickly as possible. But it is great to get lots of subscribers happening very quickly, but the downside of that is that if people haven't been watching for any length of time, they won't know that this has been going on for maybe 2 or 3 years, this Telegram scam, and it happens on lots of other YouTube channels. So yeah, it's just to be wary about Telegram. I don't use it. I don't even know what it is. So yeah, and I'm not giving away things in my comment section like guitars or, you know, effects pedals or anything like that. I don't do any of that stuff. So yeah, just ignore anything to do with Telegram. And yeah, that's the thing. Just stay, you know, I know that people might not watch the live streams, and this is the problem, that I have done a few videos on the channel just saying about it to let subscribers know who might not tune into the live streams. But this is why it's good to tune into the live streams as well, because if there are any scams, I can let you guys know live what's going on. And it's just a shame that YouTube aren't doing anything about it. So yeah, try to stay vigilant, and yeah, know that I don't use Telegram and don't randomly message people in the comment section. So anyway, yeah, thank you for that. Oh, Karen says again, Phil, when you've covered maths talk, hair talk and food talk, it means you've hit the trifecta of talks. Oh, okay, so yeah. I don't keep a track of anything, but there we go. I told you what I had for dinner, so that can be the food talk for tonight. Right, it's midnight, which means we need to get a move on with what we're doing tonight. And the Phil Jam. So, mic on, zoom out, done. And grab Strat it is for tonight. And Joe says Strat, clean, wire here and there, temper changes, has an end, don't forget, and mic. So thank you for that. We will have a go with this and see what happens. And we've had a donation from... Now this is something that we need more of when people walk their dogs. We have Poo Picker Upper, who's donated $10. So thank you for that. And the message is, hi Phil from Northwest Ohio. So thank you for that donation. And yeah, the reason that I say that is whenever, like if I'm driving or I'm walking somewhere and you can see that a dog is doing what it does, I always look at the owner to think, are you going to pick that up? And the reason that I say this is because when I was a kid, when I wanted to play football, I went over to a field which was kind of opposite my house. And the problem with going over to the field is because you have these people that just don't care and they let their dogs do whatever they want to do. So it's like you're trying to find a patch of grass to play football on that isn't infected. So yeah, that's why I mostly just had to try and play in the garden. But I did have a garden, so I was very lucky that I could at least kind of run up and down the garden a bit. And yeah, I didn't have to rely on trying to find a patch that was untouched by dogs doing their business. But anyway, thank you for that donation. Right, back to the Phil Jam. A little bit sidetracked there, but I'm going to have to click on it. That will help to begin with.
Job.
And let's mute that so that we can go through the video. Right, this is called, or let me skip that. This is called Sultans of Swing Guitar Solo Backing Track. Slow to fast, D minor in brackets. Okay, so this is like a very specific backing track. It's going to be Sultans of Swing, apparently. And the channel is now U Shred backing / jam tracks. And that is with U, Y-O-U in capital letters. So that's the place to go in order to hear this backing track. As for the levels, who knows what's going to happen, but I better get on with it because it's almost 10 minutes in length. So we'll have a listen and see what is happening. This is very slow. Tempting to just play the melody. Away from my feet. Give this a go. pal. Let's give it a go. I would have liked a few more attempts at trying to do that with a pick as well, without my fingers, but it's something like that. Oh, well, this is the thing, that you don't get to rehearse these things, but that's one of those lines that is so part of that song, but just part of the lead that, yeah, everyone's kind of waiting to hear that. So there we go. I don't think I've ever had that before where you're trying to play, because I'm just playing notes randomly, just coming up with whatever, but obviously that you know, that kind of line, I mean, everybody knows that melody, so it's so tempting to kind of always go into that. And then, yeah, when you're playing that, I think that was right. Yeah, that would have been it. So anyway, it's a bit late now to remember exactly what it was. So anyway, thank you, Joe, for that backing track. And yeah, that was Sultans of Swing, guitar solo backing track, slow to fast, that bit's in capital letters, and then D minor in brackets, and then it says Now You Shred backing / jam tracks, and that's the name of the channel if you guys want to check this out and have yourselves a bit of a Sultans of Swing jam. So that was tonight's live stream, and I can see something's happened over on PayPal. So thank you, Robin, who has donated £16.78. So thank you for that. And the message is thanks for the jams, and thank you guys for just hitting the thumbs up, because that means we get to have a jam. And I'm going to be here again on Tuesday, same time, same place, 11 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So if you can make it then as well, that'd be great, because then we can have a full jam on Tuesday night as well. I'm going to be here with another video tomorrow night, so look out for that one. And yeah, I think that pretty much wraps everything up for this Saturday night live stream. A record-breaking Saturday night live stream. So thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up and for subscribing, commenting, and doing all of that kind of stuff. It really does help everything to grow, and we'll keep on pushing forward and see where we end up. But yes, all that's left for me to say is try to stay as safe and as sane as possible in this crazy world in which we live. And yeah, have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!